But like this might be the best way for how they want to tell this, and it's like we just kind of have to wait and see. I just worry for the more casual viewer that's not as invested in the fact that it's a video game and they will stick through because they know the video game's highly rated and good. Someone that's just like, oh, everyone's watching the show and picked it up and, oh, I like Pedro Pascal. And then now we're not going to get an answer to that till next season, probably the end of next season. I think that might hurt casual people of coming back for season 3. I have an issue with Sam Reich.
Okay.
I don't like that he's turning the games on us, the viewer, because it's the second time now this season.
Some sad reports coming out. Apparently,
I don't buy it.
There is going to be no Hall H panel from Marvel at San Diego Comic-Con this year.
They should do a Hall H panel, but their whole panel is just every 2 to 5 minutes.
Bring another chair out.
Some guy walks out of a chair and puts it down on stage.
Hello and welcome back to Cutscene Convos. This is episode 162 and we have got much to discuss. We've got 2 weeks of TV and film and whatever else we've watched in that time.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a character profile on Yelena, and as always, we've got the Nerd News Network. But before all that good stuff, Horizontal, how's the last 2 weeks been?
What has the last 2 weeks been? Work. Got paid. Got a new phone.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that before we started recording, but first phone in 6 years, which is wild. But also, looking back on it, I'm genuinely impressed by the Pixel 3a, that it is only really started giving me issues in the last month, and the volume buttons started breaking 6 months ago. So I mean, it's done a solid 6 years of
It's
good
a
work.
solid effort. Bearing in mind, phones just aren't designed to last that long anymore, which is it should be illegal, but they aren't designed to last that long anymore because in their heads they know they're going to only offer software support for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, well, we don't want the hardware to last as long as the software support, ideally, because we want them to buy a new phone before. So as long as the hardware lasts for 3 years, that should be fine. And it's like, no, fuck you. I want this thing to outlive God.
So yeah, I mean, if this lasts 6 years again, I'll be pretty
You'll be
impressed.
pretty fucking happy, yeah. And it's also the only way with phones to actually feel any kind of generational jump anymore is to really hold off on an upgrade.
It's funny, it's probably when I got the 3A, it definitely was the lower spec Pixel.
And Google was still a bit behind as well in the phone space at that point, and they've come on so far since then.
Whereas now, I got the 9A, because I compared it to the 9 and the 9 Pro, and the genuine only the 9A has a bigger battery than the other two. It has the same size screen, the same most of the same software baseline features. The only difference being that the Pro has more RAM, and then the 9 and 9 Pro both have slightly better camera modules. But I've said to you, if
you're going to take a picture, you're going to use your actual fucking camera.
Yeah, if I'm doing anything where I'm actually doing photography, I have my camera with me, so I don't necessarily get my phone out. And then anything that I would want to take with a phone, it's still going to have a solid camera. So
this is the thing with phones now, isn't it? It's about working out what you can't live without, what your nice to haves are, and what you don't care about, and then using that to work out where you land. I've said to you, I'm looking at Nothing and I'm wanting them to come on. If the Nothing 4 comes out in next year and they have wireless charging, they've got me. I'll be like, right, as soon as this phone dies, you've got me. But right now, that's the big thing that I'm not sure. And obviously, I'll be going from iOS over to Android, which is a bit of a fucking headache because
to the light side.
Walled gardens. It's not even that I have a particular preference between iOS and Android. I just don't like Going from one Android phone to another Android phone's a lot fucking easier
Mm.
than.
Oh,
And don't get me wrong, if I was to move over to Android and then I'm like, oh, I want to go back to Apple, yeah, it would still be a pain in the arse, but at least then I'm like, okay, but I've decided I really don't like what you guys are doing over here.
I would say back when I got my old phone, that was when I first switched I was switching from Apple to Android, and it was fairly smooth and painless. I would imagine if I wanted to switch back, it'd be more painful. I feel like it's worse.
It's got harder every year.
It's worse going back to Apple because I think there's a lot of things you use in your general day to day with like Chrome profile and like lots of people already have Gmail and different things. Like you kind of already have a lot of the Google like ecosystem, so it's a lot easier to go into like Android than it is going
into
the
the tech shit that most people don't think about or care about, but also in the last year or so, the NFC stuff. So for those who don't know, like the NFC technology, although it is widely available, it's kind of been owned by Apple the entire time, which has made it a ball ache, which is why sometimes Android-based devices don't implement it very well, or it doesn't work as smoothly as the Apple Wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But in like the last 18 months, there's been like consumer and antitrust and all them fucking shit lawsuits. And basically Apple have been told you aren't directly allowed to like have that control over that anymore, which means they've had to spin off a separate company. And as a result, I don't know if maybe people on Android have noticed, but as a result, NFC across non-Apple devices has become much more available, much cheaper, and works much better now. And that is one of my deal breakers. I'm not going back to carrying cards and cash constantly, and I'm not going back to carrying a cable wherever I go. Honestly, once nothing go, NFC is going to be in all of our devices, and wireless charging is in all of our devices. Literally, the second I need a new phone, I'm there. That's literally all they need to promise me.
See, I think I always will carry my cards. It's just habit.
Because you're old.
But yeah, there's that too.
Than me.
But like, because I did have Google Pay on my old phone, but I just didn't use it that often.
And that was like that was an element of the NFC technology which wasn't as smooth. So like a lot of people on Android don't use it that much. Whereas me, I only take my wallet out if I'm going somewhere where I think I'm going to be ID'd.
Fair.
But especially like post-COVID, where contacts got bumped up to £100.
Yeah.
If I'm spending more than £100 in one transaction, realistically, I'm probably doing it from home.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's
like
unlikely.
And if I'm spending more than that going out, I'm going to know that in advance, and I will take my card then. But like that is such a slim use case for me that I'm like, sweet. As long as I've got my phone on me, I'm pretty much golden. And as I'm now a bit older, I also don't really need my ID as much. I don't get ID'd anymore. It's quite sad. I look that dishevelled, but it is the way of the world.
See, that's been my life since I was 14.
People with facial hair just never get ID'd. If you had a beard at 14, I don't know why you even bother getting like a driver's license. No, but I knew people who legitimately at 14 had like a beard, and they're like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't need to be ID'd, but I could literally buy anything. I'm like, yeah, you could. Because people see facial hair and they're like, you must be an adult.
Yeah. It did. When I was like 18, it's like, there was a couple of times where bounced like, oh, you've got a beard, you can just go in. I'm like, oh.
Exactly.
Perks of the trade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what else has not really done much else. Just been working past couple of weeks. I'm trying to think what I did last weekend, but I can't remember. Oh, it's bank holiday, wasn't it?
Was bank
Forgot
holiday
bank holiday. I think I just chilled for bank holiday weekend.
You actually appreciate bank holidays now, don't you?
I've had a great first month at this job. I've had about
May is such a good time to start a job, because that is where we have
like bank holidays.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's been great.
May's hilarious.
I don't know what a full working week's like.
What you'll discover as you get like genuinely into the working world is it gets to May and you feel like you don't see your co-workers for an entire month, because you will end up booking a holiday in May, they will end up booking a holiday in May, you've got a bunch of fucking bank holidays, and all of a sudden it's June, and you're like, I've seen you twice, I thought you quit. It's so weird. The Britain during May, it's a miracle anything gets done with the amount of bank holidays and the amount of holidays people take.
I feel like they need to be slightly spread out a bit more. But... And I've only just started working.
you hear this chat. The man's had a job again for a month, and he thinks he knows better about bank holidays than the rest of us.
I think we should all be on
fucking lane.
To be honest, I think we should just all be on 4-day working weeks. But
honestly, it'd be good, wouldn't it?
How's your 2 weeks been?
My 2 weeks been fucking brilliant. So we finished the podcast 2 weeks ago. I was in work on the Thursday. Friday I was off. Saturday morning, stupid o'clock, we flew out to Lisbon.
Oh god, yeah, that was
for the Women's UEFA Champions League final, which Arsenal won, which was genuinely one of the best experiences of my life.
Nice.
I was like, this is going to be fucking electric. To put it in context for people who maybe don't follow football, Arsenal were not expected to win this game in the slightest. They were the heavy underdogs. In fact, on our flight going out, other Arsenal fans were sat there discussing it, and they were like, as long as we don't lose as bad as Chelsea did to the other team in the semi-final, I'll be happy. So as long as we don't lose like 5-0, stunning, I'm just glad we've got to the final.
Yeah.
Really good game. It was about 70% Barcelona fans to about 30% Arsenal fans.
Well, I mean,
so we were
sense.
like, we were like very much outnumbered. But we won. As that goal went in like the 75th minute, there was that moment, because fortunately, despite how outnumbered we were, there was people all around us were Arsenal fans. We bought our tickets too early to be in the Arsenal fan area, so we were sat in general seating, which is where it was more mixed.
Yep.
And by more mixed, it was just all Barcelona fans. But like the 6 of us that were like I could see were all on top of each other. So we were like, I don't even know what's happened. It was a miracle I could speak Sunday morning. But yeah, so that finished at like 9 o'clock-ish. We come out of the stadium, we were trying to get a taxi down to the nightlife area, because we're like, fuck it, we just won the Champions League, let's get drunk. But Uber was being a bitch. We couldn't get an Uber driver for love nor money. And at this point, I'd been up for 36 hours, 37 hours. Yeah, I think at most I managed maybe 90 minutes of not technically being awake. And all of a sudden it all caught up with me, the emotion, the lack of sleep, and the frustration at not being able to get a taxi. I was like, let's just go back to the hotel, please. So we went back to the hotel, we had a couple of drinks there instead, and then we went up and crashed. Sunday we went out and explored Lisbon. We found...
Saw some of them pictures.
Best I can describe, the equivalent to like Camden Market.
Okay.
Which was, as anyone who's been to Camden Market knows, it was lovely. There was food stalls. We went into this little place called Beers, and they did like food and stuff, obviously. Some really nice food. But their main thing was sangria, which is a cocktail. That's traditionally made with red wine.
Yeah.
But they did their sangria with any alcohol you wanted.
Okay, so they made cocktails.
No, but
yeah,
like,
no,
but
like, I know sangria. Yeah, mixed
it was like
with
a cider sangria.
Interesting.
So I was like, okay, I'll try one of them. It came out, I had a sip. I was like,
also
that
dangerous.
Is phenomenal. But look, it's like, so I think the idea is like, you know how we've got Pims, right? And that's just like, fruits and spices mixed with an alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Sangria is like the Portuguese equivalent of that. So I don't think it makes it any more potent. It's just like, we know not everyone likes red wine.
I mean dangerous in the sense of easy to drink.
Oh yes. So we walked from our hotel there. It was about an hour and a half walk in lovely weather. We wandered around, we went in, we bought some stuff, we had a look around. Then we found the actual Sunday market, which is what we headed down there for. It was hidden out the back. So a bunch that was there 7 days a week, and then there's an extra market out the back.
Right.
So we went round there, and we finished doing that around 2. We were like, fuck it, let's do a mini pub crawl, because there were so many places to drink. We ended up, before getting a taxi back to the hotel at 4, about 7 drinks deep. and we felt fine. Genuinely, we felt fine. We were tipsy, but we felt fine.
Solid.
Got back to the hotel, and this is where it started to go wrong.
Oh dear.
We decided when we got to the hotel to have another one before we went up to get changed for dinner.
Oh dear.
So that one then like caught up to us quick. We got changed, sorted ourselves out, and headed back out towards the food direction. We found a restaurant. We'd not planned what restaurant we were going to, so we just went in the general direction and realised the restaurant we got the Uber to, so we were like, that's a restaurant, it's near the other restaurants, good enough, was actually a 20-minute walk away from the actual bulk of the restaurants. So then we had a 20-minute walk, sat down, had a gorgeous handmade pizza. Like, when I say gorgeous handmade pizza, mine's come out, I'm like, yeah, this looks mint. It was like spicy salami and stuff. And then Jenna's comes out and they've made it in the shape of a fucking love heart.
Oh.
Like, it was like I'm just like, oh, they're like actually handmade bases.
You're like, excuse me, where's my heart?
I said to Jenna, I was like, cheeky fucks, I didn't get a heart. So then that's right next to the famous Pink Street, which is where the touristy bar street of Lisbon. Okay. It's literally a street that's painted pink and has loads of bars on it. And after that, it gets a bit fuzzy. I do remember everything. I don't have any blank spots, but the timeline's a bit fuzzier. We went into a bar where they're playing Fido music, which is traditional local Lisbon Portuguese music. Had a couple of drinks in there. Then we discovered some Arsenal fans who were out drinking as well. So we were like, fuck it, we're drunk enough to go chill with some strangers. So we went into that bar and we had a couple more cocktails there while we wasted some time. And then, in my infinite wisdom, I've looked at Jenna, I've gone, I'm ready to head now. And she's like, yeah, I'm ready to head too. I'm like, fucking sweet. Jaeger bomb for the road?
Oh, no.
Now, I want to be clear. What transpired was not because of the Jaeger bomb. I'm not saying the situation wouldn't have been better without the Jaeger bomb, but it wasn't because of the Jaeger bomb. Jaeger bombs, I've literally never had a bad experience with a Jaeger bomb. I think I just didn't realise how bad I was, and the Jaeger bomb made no difference. It was already too far gone. Anyway, we've got him. We've tried to get the bartender to do a Jaeger bomb with us, because our train was just going to be 2, which was a bit sad. I was like, let's try and get a third one on there. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do it with you. I was like, okay, fair enough. Each to their own. So we did that. We got in our taxi. And as we're getting in, Jenna goes to me, she's like, I'm not sure I'm going to make it. I was like, we'll see what we can do. And it was a 25-minute taxi ride. And if you imagine her at 90% feels like she's going to puke and me at 10, as this taxi ride went over, we literally went like this. And as we're getting out, she's wobbly but feeling okay. She's like, okay, I got through. And I'm like, we need to get up to that hotel room now.
You're like sweating. Foreign taxis do something.
Yeah, we get up. I'm not that well, but I'm in. Despite being unwell, I'm in a great mood still. I'm like, hey, we might be drunk in a foreign country, but we got back to our safe place. We got back to the hotel. Nothing bad can happen now. Fucking result. So then I pass out on the bed, and I think I passed out too early. I think if I'd stayed up being unwell for another half an hour, I would have felt better the next day. But I think I was so exhausted, I passed out too soon. So we woke up Monday morning, the day we're going back. We have to check out at 11. It's like 9:30. I'm like, I cannot move. I'm like, if I move, I don't know what's going to happen. So I go back to bed. I'm like, breakfast is on till like 10:30. Do we want to go down? I'm like, yeah, that would be a good idea. Food normally makes me feel better. I go sit up. I'm like, I'm not going down for breakfast. I just literally go back. We get up. We stumble downstairs to check out. And then we sit there for another hour and a half till 1 o'clock. I'm just like, I feel dreadful. just the worst I've ever felt. I managed to get some fizzy drink in me to allow myself to burp so that I can free up my lungs, because I get really bad gas build-up essentially, and it's just painful to like the point of being debilitating. And that I think was actually the largest part of my issue. I just hadn't realised it yet because I was like too hungover to realise that I had gas build-up. But I get over that. I'm like, right, I feel well enough to try and do something. So we head down to the coast, like even more the coast. Portugal is just one big coast, but like proper coast, and go to the Lisbon Aquarium. Gorgeous aquarium. I have never ever loved an aquarium more for one simple reason. You know how a lot of the time, like aquariums and zoos are like, oh, we should look after animals. Animals are really cool, aren't they pretty? This is why you should care about them.
Yeah.
This aquarium goes the other way. It's like, these animals are gorgeous, and if you fuckers don't start looking after the ocean, they're all gonna die. Be better. Like, that was like the proper. Don't get me wrong, it was still friendly. Like, it was like, had lots of like school children going through, and they had like a mascot for the school kids. They had a lot more of a vibe of, you're killing these animals.
Fair.
I was like, I fuck with this heavy. Really cool animals. They had beavers. These beavers were so fucking chill. Sorry, not beavers, otters.
Oh.
The most chill otters I've ever seen. The biggest otters I've ever seen. They were fucking massive. I feel like I must have only ever seen like child otters.
No, well, I imagine there were maybe more sea otters. Because there's like your inland ones that are smaller.
Yeah, because we were like, oh, otters, we love otters, and then we see them like they're just as cute, but they look like they could like shake my hand and take me to dinner. Like, they're fucking massive. So we did that. We got some lunch because I finally felt well enough to eat. Then we went to the airport. Got our flight back. Got back to Stansted at like 12:30. Got back to the car at like 1:15 after we'd got through all the fucking airport security and that. Got home and I was like, yeah, sweet, we're home, I'm going to bed. And then I had to prepare for the 24-hour stream on the Thursday.
Yeah.
So
nice.
In 7 days, most people would sleep 7 times. Not this guy. He sleeps 5 times. 2 40+ hour days was not the way to go. But we did it. We got through the other side. Yeah. It was not the way to go, but it was a hell of a lot of fun. And I wouldn't change it for a damn thing. 24-hour streams are a load of fun. Being a champion of Europe is even more fun. But there we go. That's your caught up on my 2 weeks and why you fuckers didn't get an episode last week. Right. Should we get into some TV stuff?
Yes.
Well, I don't have much on my list this week.
Okay.
So obviously we had The Last of Us season finale, now last Monday. We've got another episode of Game Changer.
Yes.
And we went to see Lilo and Stitch on Friday.
Okay.
So I've got some bits about that. I don't think there's anything else really. I've been watching other things, but nothing.
Yeah, I don't think there was any staple of the podcast on. What have I watched? I mean, I've been this class is watching. I've been back on trying to get caught up on Critical Role with D&D.
Oh, okay, nice.
I'm up to like I think episode 74, and there's 120 in campaign 3.
It's so funny, right? Because this is what me and you have to do. We've both, whether we've thought about it hard enough or not, realised that there's a little bit of a lull in the podcast and like stuff we need to watch. So right now we are just cramming all that stuff we'd love to watch but don't normally have enough time for. We're like, yes, now, quick, while it's quiet. We have a few weeks.
I've also discovered with working from home, Critical Role, great sort of like almost podcast level background. I can put it on 1.5 speed because they're like 4-hour episodes. And it's like just quick enough to help get through it a bit quicker, but not so much that I'm like, can't process it. If there's a big long fight section, I just skim through it because it's like, I don't need to watch them roll attacks for 30, 40 minutes. I'm in it for the story at this point. So yeah, I've been trying to like speed run through that because there isn't a set date of when campaign 4 is happening, but I know with every
far away.
every month they're doing these like short stints of like 3-4 weeks of like a little mini series thing. So I know there's only going to be so many of those they keep doing. So I'm trying my best to get caught up. And then other than that, I mean, I feel like a couple episodes back, I mentioned I got my sister watching Yellowstone.
Yes, she did.
She'd been watching it on Netflix because it got added on there, but Netflix didn't
Okay.
have the final season,
Boo.
and she'd got up to that point. So then she was like, "How the fuck do I watch the final season?" Because she was hooked by that point.
Did you show her your pirate hat?
No, so I suggested, because it's a Paramount Plus show, on Amazon Prime you can do a 7-day trial.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, and because it's just one
Awesome.
season, I was like, why
Plenty
don't you
of
just
time.
do that? Plan it on a week where you know you can watch most of it. So she did
Yeah.
that. So while we had that 7-day trial, I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what other shows this Tyler Sheridan, who made Yellowstone, because I know he's done a bunch for Paramount. He's like their golden boy.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll see what other shows are on there. Maybe watch like episode 1 and 2 or some different ones to see if any of them
Yeah.
are good. Because I have watched Landman, which is also good. So I watched Lioness.
Okay.
Now, Lioness, the premise of Lioness is it's very loosely based on a real thing, which was a CIA special ops team that was based on planting women soldiers in like terrorist organizations and stuff, going undercover.
Got it.
And it was focused on like, also apparently helped really pave the way for women in like the Marines and stuff, because it showed that they are very much capable.
They can handle these intense, dangerous areas. Just let them do it.
Yes. So
Got ya.
I am already on season 2.
Nice.
It's really good.
That's how we watch TV in this part of the world. We just get it fucking done.
It's got Zoe Saldana, I think is the name. She
Gamora.
plays the main leader of the squad of the Lionesses. There's Morgan Freeman is in this one.
Is he just the narrator, or does he actually appear?
He's like, I don't know if he's Secretary of State. So I forget. I don't know what his actual position is.
He's a government dude.
He's like the head government dude that we get to see, because you don't see we haven't been shown the president. President's mentioned many a times, but I guess they've just gone for we don't need to cast a president because it's meant to be somewhat set in present day.
Yeah. It's supposed to be semi-relevant. We don't need an actual actor here for everyone to go, oh, what president are they supposed to be?
Yeah. But yeah, it's real. It follows this Lioness squad. Season 1 was like their one main mission. Season 2, we're now on we've moved forward a few months on a different mission now. But it's, I would say, Reacher level military action. Like, some of the action in this is so well done. It's very intense at times, being a military focus. Yeah, like some of the stuff you're like locked the fuck in because you don't know what the fuck's about to happen. It's special ops. Shit can go wrong very quickly. Everyone is on edge of being caught. Like, it's that sort of thing. But yeah, definitely would recommend. So that's kind of been something I've been watching over the past couple of weeks. Been binging my way through that.
Fair enough.
Shall we talk about Last of Us?
Yes.
The finale.
Yeah, the season 2 finale.
I mean, neither of us have played the game, as we've said every week. I don't know. I think I was more open to how this ended because I know roughly presume you might be similar to me, understand that the game also shows Abby's side.
Yeah.
So like there was sudden like the way it ended in that really intense moment, and then like suddenly we cut back to Abby fucking months ago. I'm like, oh, we're not going to get an answer to that now till next season. Probably the end of next season. I think that might hurt casual people of coming back for season 3.
The show's in a really weird spot. I enjoyed the season overall. I want to say that first and foremost, because inherently it's very human to focus on the things that you would change, because the things you would like, you would like. It's just like people are more likely to leave a negative review than a positive review.
Mm.
The show is good. I like it. I understand some of the criticism. I stand by a lot of the criticism is to do with people wanting it to be the exact same as the game, at which point just go play the game again.
Yeah.
The bits that I find most interesting are absolutely, have they left it a little bit too up in the air for someone to want, for like someone who has no knowledge to come back for the third season? Or, I mean, they like, whether we want to admit it or not, these people do know more about TV than us.
Mm.
Do they know that you've got to leave it on a massive fucking cliffhanger now to get someone to come back for a third season?
I get what you mean. I think it is tough because these sorts of shows, and HBO especially love to do this. They love ending on a cliffhanger. In that sense, I would have said you leave it after that gunshot moment when it goes black.
Yes, I would agree that you could change the editing there to make it
just
more cut and dry.
We don't need to see that bit of Abby. You just start season 3 with it. And I think that maybe it's tough because I too have really enjoyed this season, and I get the people that are really hardcore fans of the game are probably a bit upset with like how things have been told and in what order and whatnot. It's going to be different. We've been over that plenty of times. I just see, like, from my sister that's watched it, that obviously has not played the game, has no context to the games at all, and genuinely, pretty much mainly one of the reasons she picked up the show and gave it a chance was Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
And it's like, Pedro Pascal got killed off this season. Yes, he appeared a few more times, but he's very much definitely not going to be really showing up next season. Maybe in a few more scenes.
I would assume so, yeah. But like, he's also busy as fuck, dude. Like,
yeah. So it's like, there's definitely some viewers that will have gone, oh, who they saw as the main actor and main character is gone. Now you've kind of set it up that next season we're not even going to be with Ellie. We're going to be with this Abby girl. You might lose some people. Also, like, them having to wait.
I do think a 50-50 split would have made more sense.
Yeah,
But I do think there was an element of, we need a spot to end the season on. And if you were to go, okay, we're going to do 14 episodes across 2 seasons. Say that's what their mind went to. And we just alternate between Abby and Ellie every week. Mm-hmm. We're only going to be halfway through and we're going to be finishing at, like, what was episode 4? Episode 4 was, like, when she found out Dina was pregnant, maybe?
Yeah.
And it's like, is that a point to leave the season on?
Yeah, it's tough. You either flip-flop and then basically you end it as, like, Ellie arrives at Seattle or something.
Yeah.
Or, it's tough. And don't, like, obviously, this
7-episode seasons are done. So there's that.
But like, this might be the best way for how they want to tell this. And it's like, we just kind of have to wait and see. I just worry for the more casual viewer that's not as invested in the fact that it's a video game and they will stick through because they know the video game's highly rated and good. Someone that's just like, oh, everyone's watching the show and picked it up and, oh, I like Pedro Pascal. And then now it's a bit of a weird spot. But I think the end, like, overall, I really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what Josh says next week, because he is the big Last of Us fan.
I know a lot of people have had issues with the way Ellie's been portrayed. First and foremost, I don't buy into this Bella Ramsey doesn't look right for the character. Like, the way a character looks is so unimportant for like 99% of roles.
Yep.
Ellie is a young white girl. Beyond that, what the actor looks like doesn't actually matter that much.
No.
And I won't listen to Bella Ramsey's a bad actor. They are a genuinely phenomenally talented actor, and you can see that in a couple of episodes throughout this season. You just see the raw talent there. So I'm not buying that either. You don't have to like the performance, but saying they're a bad actor is categorically false.
I think
The
that's
big
fair.
one, a lot of fans seem to be angry with, though, is how Ellie seems to have like accidentally killed like the henchman essentially. Whereas in the game, apparently, it's quite a brutal like bloodbath. And I don't know if people. I obviously I've not played the game, so I'm struggling to work out if this is people going based on the way they played the game,
So
or if the game has gone, oh, these are henchmen, they're mini bosses, so it needs to be fucking brutal because that's how games work. And then from a
possibly.
story perspective, because Neil Druckmann's still involved in the story process, so like these changes have gone through him. If he's gone, oh yeah, and also like Ellie is a lot less sympathetic a character if we've just watched 2 seasons of her just fucking mowing down people.
Yeah. I mean, that's also, yeah. I mean, I've seen something, I think, similar to that idea that I think plays into what you're predicting, and I think I'm similar. I saw a couple of people be like, they wished there was more chances or like scenes given to us getting to see Ellie kind of take on things solo. She didn't really have many solo action moments of like, and that's because in the game, when you are solo working through the city, and obviously like you come across people, you're killing people left and right because you're trying to get through, which I think is the game throws those things at you, and you as the player are obviously just going to mow through them because you're like, and it makes you get the sense of like,
A one-man army.
I'm on a rampage, I'm on a one-man army, I'm coming to get the people that have, but they didn't show that in the show. And it's like they could have maybe given one or two like more moments on showing Ellie taking out like 2 or 3 people that she's stumbled across as she's like working her way through the city or solo or something. But maybe that's where people are feeling like that disconnect, that, oh, she was a psycho in the game, and it's like they haven't quite got that across. But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. It's
Do a
just
pacifist run of The Last of Us Part 2, and that's and then see if you feel how like the interpretation is bad. Maybe you were the fucking psycho while you were playing the game, you little murder hobo. Think about that.
I think it's also it's like you can show Ellie be more bloodbath mode if they had done similar to the game of giving us Abby for the first like 4 or 5 episodes or something of just her after like she's killed Joel, because then similar to the game you're sat there watching this person that's just like, if they did it similarly, it makes it easier then to sell Ellie going on a like rampage. But the way they've told this in the order and how they've given details, it's like if she knows it's Abby's dad and then still goes on a murderous rampage, you're going to be like, okay, you're going a bit far.
So I think I read somewhere, and again, this number might be bullshit. It might be something someone should have posted. So take it with a pinch of salt. I think I read somewhere that like in like the official like canon of the game, Ellie has like 400 confirmed kills in The Last of Us Part 2. Which does make it a bit valid to go, why are we not seeing more violence?
Yeah.
But counterpoint is a genuine question. If you are, and let's be 100% fucking clear, this TV show has been made for people who haven't played the game and don't even know it's based on the game, because that's what HBO does. They make TV for the masses.
Yeah.
They will have seen that and gone, it is not believable for us to cast any 19-year-old woman and make people believe that in an apocalyptic wasteland where everyone is dangerous, that she's going to by herself kill over 400 people. And somehow have that character be sympathetic at the same time.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's really difficult. The only reason it works in a game is because when you're controlling her killing people, you're not going, oh, why is Ellie doing this? Because you're doing it and you're having fun. And then in the cutscenes, they're making her sympathetic, and that's what you actually think of as
Well, yeah.
Ellie. People don't think of the character they're playing as the character in the cutscene a lot of the time.
No, and it's not like if I was playing the game, I'm not going along going, oh, that's 5. Okay, that's 10. I'm now at 50. Like, I'm not counting every single thing that I've killed.
You're just fucking...
I'm just going through the level. Like, so, yeah, I do think there is that. Some of this is for the better because it just doesn't translate. But it's tough to say because, in a way, we've only got half the story so far. So it's like, without the other half, we don't know if it is the right call.
Absolutely. Game changer.
Yes. Now, I have an issue with Sam Reich.
Okay.
I don't like that he's turning the games on us, the viewer. Because it's the second time now this season where things that have gone on in the show have then bamboozled the viewer. Like, it happened with the 1 year on. We discovered that many of the things that some of our favourite comedians had done throughout the year was all for a Game Changer episode. And then this one, the premise is set to us, and I'm sure you, and like they did in the show, everyone was like, oh, this is like Traitors, because that's been really popular over the last like couple of years.
I've not watched Traitors.
It's
like Among Us.
Do you know what's funny? I only got roped into the like final week of the last season because my sister and I were watching it, and I was there, and then I got really invested because it's one of those where you're like, oh well, now I'm watching this, I'm invested in these people. But the way there was a moment where I was like, what if there's more than one sober? And I was like, nah, because they did show us at the beginning, and I was like, okay. I was not ready because some of them sold it really fucking well. So fucking well.
So it was spoiled for me on Twitter what the twist was.
No.
But I was still surprised because I thought the twist was they'd all been given like non-alcoholic alcohol. So they thought they were the drunk ones. And actually none of them had had a sip of alcohol. So this was all placebo. So that's what I was expecting. Yes. So people acting drunk still made sense to me because I was like, oh, they think they're drunk because they've been told they're drinking.
Yeah.
And they can taste alcohol. They just don't realise there's no alcoholic content.
Yeah.
The way some of them sold it for them to all think they were the sober one, I was like, holy shit, that's impressive.
Do you know what I think it was? It's that a layer above that whole like when you don't know you're not drinking alcohol and you get the placebo effect. I think they were all like trying to act a bit drunk, but then because they're all doing that and they all think the other people are drunk,
they're trying to match them constantly.
The energy level sort of, they're all bouncing off each other, and the placebo is they're all, with them acting drunk, are making the others act drunk more, which then actually makes them seem drunk. And there's like, that's when it gets blurry. But I was just not ready for Sam to turn it on. Like, all of them and the viewers have been like, oh, psych. We even faked it to the camera.
I loved that reveal. Because I was like, oh, so what did they do? Like some clever masking? That was like, it was like, oh, can you guys just take another one just so that if we want to trick anyone in the trailers and stuff, we can. They're like, yeah, sure, no worries.
Yeah, they all just bought
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Angela, but it might have been someone else going, you made me think I was special. Cracked me up. And it explains why they were all so disappointed when they got voted out. Like whoever it was that got voted out in the first round being so disappointed.
Yes.
She thought she was the sober one and she'd been busted instantly. She was like, no, I've ruined Sam's episode. No.
Yeah, I hadn't even actually considered that. The fact that every time someone got voted off, they thought, well, fuck, that's it. I've lost out on the money.
What I would be really curious to know, and like, I don't know if Game Changer, if Dropout has the power to be able to do it. It would have been really cool if they'd edited that episode in 8 different ways so that you don't know, like, we load up the episode, and
Oh,
I think Lily's the sober one, and
but
you
I get
think
shown
Izzy's
someone
the
else.
sober one,
Yeah,
and then to see if no
That-
matter what you're like, oh, they're doing a really good job.
that would be.
Could you imagine if everyone got someone, or like you had a 1 in 8 chance?
Yeah.
So like we watched Lily and you watched Izzy or whoever, and you're like, oh my god, no one can tell Izzy's fucking killing this. And then
That
we're
would
watching
be
it, we're like,
funny.
no one knows Lily is sober. That would have been another really cool twist. And then in a week's time, they go, right, all 8 episodes are available now, so that you can watch through another point of view and the way that one's edited.
Yeah.
To see how different we can make it look based on who we wanted you to think was the sober person.
Yeah.
That would have been the only way I would have been like even more hats off.
I enjoyed the different vibe for the set as well. Different color scheme, different.
We give Sam and like the writing team a lot of credit for these concepts. This season, the art team, the staging team, the production, the prop team have all also seen Sam elevating his game and went, oh bitch, we can do that too.
Oh,
because they have all done such a phenomenal job.
Because we also, like, in this 2 weeks, we got the behind the scenes for the crowd control.
Yeah, I've not got to watch that yet, but I imagine it's phenomenal.
It is great. And they kind of talk more about, like, finding the people, and they had, like, a spreadsheet to work out who was on what tables. They decided, obviously, they were going to do this, so then they built that, like, extra. This was part of the reason the set got extended. Was this episode, because they were like, we need to sit all these people, so they extended that brick wall, used photos from other Gamechangers, and they're like, we made our own comedy wall, and we thought it looked really cool, so we just kept it. They had the bigger entrance, so like all these things. Then we were like, oh, we're just gonna make this season bigger, because this was the first one I think they recorded.
We've got the space now. We can fucking use it.
But yeah, it was like that was all the prop team talking through that stuff, and then like things like them realizing with the comedy one, everyone was sat at tables like, oh, people will be drinking. Okay, we need to go up by like 20 glasses to have on the table so people can just have random drinks or whatever, just to sell the vibe. But yeah, the production that they're pushing, and I don't think this was as, like, for personal favorites here, I don't think it tops the comedy one or anything.
No.
But it's still a really good concept for this season. Like, it's still above the normal bar of what I would have expected.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a masterpiece of an episode. Unfortunately, it's one that only works once. This is like really difficult to do a second of, which sucks. But it was a great episode. The like you say, the way they've changed the setting for it was awesome. I enjoyed the new style podium with like the blue color palette instead. Looked very cool. Watching the characters essentially bounce off each other, phenomenal. And that twist at the end where all of them at the same time realized they were lied to is brilliant. Because if you go back, if you go back and rewatch the bit where they reveal, all of them proper swaggily bring it out because they think they're about to reveal they're the special one, and then they all look at someone else's hand and they're like, "What?"
Yeah,
phenomenal, so good, so fucking good.
It's just, it makes me excited for every like couple of weeks to see what the next one is.
I don't know how many episodes we're supposed to get this season, but I never want it to end.
Yeah, this is the problem. I don't want it to end. Oh, that
and
was
also this is why weekly releases are king.
I like how they're using the behind the scenes to like do a weekly, but then spread out the actual episodes more. Yeah. It's working well. In the behind the scenes for the comedy one, it does end with Sam going, every once in a while, a bit like Make Some Noise, you get an idea that has something special that should be maybe spun off into something of its own. And that's how they leave the behind the scenes. It's like they are 100% going to turn this comedy thing into its own standalone show. Like
absolutely. And as they absolutely fucking should. That style of show is kind of actually missing at the minute. There is actually a gap for that kind of show at the minute. And like, it's such a dropout thing to go and get up and coming comedians and go, right, off you go.
Do you know what we
Make
need?
a name for yourself.
We need Dropout to make their version, because obviously they've taken a lot of like, whose line is it anyway? Is like, make some noise basically now. Like, they've taken our old sort of comedy improv game shows that we used to have on TV that have fizzled out. They should make their own version of like Mock the Week.
Oh, that'd be good.
Like, have
That'd be
Sam be
good.
the main host guy, and then just get like these improv and comedians on each week to talk about what's going on in the world.
I didn't include it in the news section. We'll talk about it now briefly.
Oh.
There was also an article that came out this week about Dropout.
Oh?
And about kind of how their pay scale works.
Okay.
So, as well as Dropout being so successful last year that everyone at the company got a bonus,
Yep.
they pay above average for guest appearances on their show. So, for instance, an episode of Gamechangers is between $2,000 and $3,000. So Jean-Marco, who was on the comedy episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jean-Marco? John Luca? I can't remember. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He said that was half a day's filming for him, and he earned more from that than he did for like 2 days' work for a show for Paramount Plus.
It's wild.
Let me be completely fucking clear. You have got people like Netflix and whoever else bumping up their prices to double that of fucking Dropout at this point, putting out more but less good shows, and aren't paying people as well. Dropout is the fucking streaming service. I would like them to. I need them to have 2 more great years like this, just so they have a bit more money in the bank to expand their catalogue a little bit more, so that I can legitimately recommend it to people who aren't like comedy or D&D people. But at the same time, I understand why they're not in a massive rush to move away from that, because that is their core.
Yeah, and I don't know if they do. I think, if anything, and I think this is on their radar to do, because they've already tested the water with it, but they've done these like specials from Dropout Presents where they had that obviously like week long where they had a theatre and they just did a bunch of shows and recorded them. I hope they get to a point where they're like, they drop like one of those a month or something. Like,
I would
they
love
become
for them
regular
to,
going.
You know how Netflix have got like the Netflix stand-up specials that every comedian you've never heard of has one? I would love for Dropout to steal that market.
Yeah. I think they could really develop that into something more.
Be the next generation's fucking Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Or for the more OG Brits out there, Dave.
Yes. The new Dave.
Do you know what I mean? That's what we need.
Then they're going to start a new Top Gear showing.
Yeah. Oh, imagine Lou, Murph, and the new host of I'm actually.
Oh, Iffy.
Yeah, Iffy, Murph, and Lou doing like a Top Gear style show. That would fuck so hard.
There's so many good trios there that could make. Like, you could have
phenomenal.
Zach Brennan do.
Put Zach in everything. Every day in my life where I don't get to watch Zach Oyama is a bad day.
He's so good.
Yeah, Gamechangers phenomenal. Dropout's phenomenal. If they don't get Emmy nominations out the wazoo, we're going to have issues. It's not up for discussion. They are genuinely doing things we've not seen on a streaming service ever before.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
The thing is, it's like, the longer it goes on, they're just going to get louder to the point where it genuinely can't be ignored by these awards.
So do you reckon it could be as a Caprio type thing?
It's just going to get to the point where it's like, here's my thing. The longer they go without an award, the faster Sam's going to push Gamechangers. Because if they don't get an award, he's going to be like, fine, I'll go bigger. And he'll just keep going bigger. So maybe it's a good thing.
What I really want is it to get to the point where he gets told, like, okay, we realise we fucked up. We're going to do you like a special recognition award. And then he gets up there and goes, I've been here the whole time. And it's a surprise game. He just takes over the Emmys with a surprise Game Changer episode.
Imagine.
It would be phenomenal. It would take more planning than I think any mere mortal could manage. But all it needs is the right person on the Emmys committee. And it's possible.
Yeah. That or he guest stars on like Saturday Night Live and does a Game Changer episode on that.
Honestly, I think that we are not too far away from him getting to do like, you know how like when new shows or new films are coming out, you see in America like the main actor do the late night shows.
Yes.
Like they go around and they do the Kimmel and all that. I reckon next Game Changer, there is an opportunity for Sam to go and do them things. And that might be when it's put just enough in front of the public that it fucking goes off.
True.
Because there's no way people like
he starts his
Kimmel,
own late night show.
Imagine. I don't know if he has the time for it, but that'd be fucking awesome.
Well, there's one of them could host it. There's somebody there that would host one.
Late nights on Dropout.
Is there a new show for you?
Lilo and Stitch.
Yes, I've heard mixed things.
So, fundamentally, you know my opinion on animated films being made live action is not that positive.
Yeah.
I think it's, for the most part, creatively bankrupt. And because it's always mega corporations doing it, we know they're not doing it for artistic reasons, they're doing it for monetary reasons. I think this is one of the better ones.
Okay.
I do still have some massive fucking issues. First and foremost, I think the decision to have Bagley and Gumba be in like technology-based disguises that make them look fully human.
Yeah, they're
is
undercover
dog
mode.
shit.
Yeah, I agree.
It's dog shit. It gets rid of so much physical comedy. I think that... So, the biggest change that I have an issue with is right at the very end, they save Stitch from being taken back to the Galactic Federation, blah, 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 blah. And then Nanny gets permission to keep Lilo in the original, right? She doesn't lose Lilo to child services.
Yes.
In this one, she decides to leave Lilo with like the close neighbours who they're friendly with and go off to university. Nanny would never leave Lilo.
No.
It's like fundamentally the opposite of the story.
Yeah, okay, that must have been one of the main things I saw people upset.
Yes, it's just weird and wrong. A lot of like there's a lot of references in the original Lilo and Stitch to like how essentially tourist colonialism to an extent has kind of damaged Hawaii.
Yeah.
And the white Europeans who moved and lived in America and then took over Hawaii have just kind of distorted Hawaii and destroyed it in a lot of ways. And that's like pretty rife throughout the animated film, to the point where the girls bullying Lilo are all white girls who are taking the mick out of her and they just don't understand the culture they're living in. They get rid of all of that. So instead the girls bullying her are also island girls. So they get rid of a lot of like the
character struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. They keep the idea of Stitch is misunderstood and viewed as bad, but he's not inherently bad and he just needs someone to love him. They keep that.
Yeah.
The animation on Stitch is, as much as it pains me to say it, fucking phenomenal. And let me be clear. Overall, I think this film is an okay film. In a world where the original Lilo and Stitch doesn't exist and this is an original movie, I probably am raving about it right now. I'll be honest.
Fair.
But the original does exist. I know how this story is supposed to go. I know how much better the original is.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say, the actress, the little girl who plays Lilo,
Yeah.
is a fucking superstar.
Okay.
She is by far and away the best part of the film.
Okay.
She adds so much heart and soul to the interactions. She brings Stitch to life. Yeah, the animation on Stitch is great, but the way she interacts with Stitch, he's in the fucking room. It's so real. Their bond is just as good in this film as I remember it from the original.
Okay.
And the way they like get pulled apart from each other and like kind of squabble still melts my heart, still makes me feel like I'm going to tear up, is still brilliant. But every time I'm like, oh yeah, this is going well, it then cut to fucking Bagley and Gumbar and they're just humans, and I'm like, this is shit. Why are you not clearly an alien just wearing human clothing trying to blend in? Because that is peak comedy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it is a good film. It is just infinitely worse in every way than the original. Because the original might be one of the greatest kids films of all time.
It's, I mean, I've said it with like the Lion King and stuff. It's just when there's the hand drawn animated stuff exists, the live action just never gonna feel as good.
Mm-hmm. And then when you fundamentally change something so important of Ohana means family, no one's getting left behind, I'd never ever leave you because having a family is more important than anything else, blah blah blah. To just go, oh, well, we can work out Lilo staying with you. And the worst bit is they get Lilo to convince her to do it. Lilo's like, no, I will stay with them. You go off to university. And it's like, that's just, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
It didn't. And they got rid of characters. The big fucking shark space looking dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say the giant guy.
Yeah, Giganto, I think his name is. He's just not in the film at all. Like, I know I've said you can't just expect shot-for-shot remakes because adaptations exist for a reason, and they do. I wasn't looking for a shot-for-shot remake. You can't fuck with the core themes of the film, though.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like you start changing core story parts, then it changes things for the in this case, like, for the worse.
Because like one of the like recurring jokes in this film and in the original, right, is that Stitch is just a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone just kind of accepts that, even though he's like blue and like can talk.
Yeah.
And that then makes sense when like Bagley and Gumbar are clearly aliens dressed as humans. You're like, if they can believe Stitch is a dog, they can believe they're just weird looking dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah? But then you don't have that joke, so it's just, why is everyone believing this thing is a dog? It kind of half does the joke. It's like, yeah, it's funny that everyone just thinks he's a dog, but at the same time, that would be even funnier if then you've got these aliens walking around that everyone is just acting like they're not fucking weird looking.
Do you know what I feel like they've kind of done? They've forgot
the Beloved Children's film.
They forgot that this fundamentally is meant to be a film for kids, and kids would believe an alien hiding in human clothes. But they've gone, the people that watched the original film of this are now all adults. And it's a bit silly to presume that they would believe that this is an alien in human clothes, like is a human. So they're not going to believe that, because that's clearly what we're fucking going to do, is to genuinely believe what we're seeing in a Lilo and Stitch film. Like, they've kind of ended up in this weird middle ground of trying to make a film for all the kids that are now adults, because they know they're going to go see it because like, oh my God, that's that film that we all loved as kids. But then ultimately, this is meant to be just a kids' film.
Yeah, I don't get literally every single decision they made that changes the story. I'm like, I don't know how you thought that was a good idea. Like, I can disagree with the decision, but if I understand why you think it's a good idea, at least then I'm like, I
Yeah,
disagree, but I get it. All of their decisions, I'm like, but why? Is it just so you can go, look, it is different. We were trying something.
maybe.
And don't get me wrong, like the new kid, the new generation of kids who are going to go see this, are going to fucking fall in love with it because at the end of the day, it is still a little girl gets a naughty space dog, and they fall in love, which
Yeah.
is a beautiful story. And as a child, it would be rude not to fall in love with that story.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say if you want to take your child to see Lilo and Stitch, don't let them watch the original because it's better and it still has the lovely part of their soul that will make them fall in love with Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
It just it's
Yeah.
the annoying part, as always, is the bits they got right. I'm like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. But then they would do something different. I'm like, that sucks in every way.
Them doing this sort of thing, because this is like not the first time they've done these live action remakes.
Nope, and it won't be the last. We've got another one in a month or so.
One of the films that I felt was always cheated out of a sequel or anything was Treasure Planet. I fucking loved that film as a kid. Great film, and I hate that Disney kind of shelved it and didn't want to do anything with it because they didn't think it was good enough.
That film's got to be considered a cult classic at this point.
I think so. My worry is some exec one day is going to see how much the internet loves Treasure Planet and going to make the decision that we need to make a live action remake, and they're going to just butcher it, and it's going to upset me.
Well, this is the problem, right? As much as we sit here and we go, this is dog shit, stop doing these things, there are also people who genuinely get very excited for all of these.
Mm.
And they are like, every time one comes out and does well, they're like, do this one next. And I'm like, I honestly, I don't blame them as an individual. They just want to see things they care about, and I get that. But at a certain point, you need to, yeah, you need to understand the context behind what they're doing. They're not doing it because they care about you or the story. They're doing it to protect their IP and re-up their rights and make a boatload of money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
sell
just
a bunch of merch again.
It just, I don't know. You know me, I want to be so like positive about art, and they tried something. And don't get me wrong, the good parts of this film are great. Like I said, the actress who played Lilo, genuinely, watch her. I'm going to keep an eye on her career because I won't be surprised if she ends up like doing some very impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Because either she is just a dumb kid who genuinely believes she had an alien dog with her, or she's a generational actress. It's one or the other. But yeah, it's just fucking annoying, man. Boo.
But I think that is everything we've watched, right?
Everything from me. I've watched some other bits and pieces, but nothing that we'd normally talk about. We've got some shows coming up in the not too distant future. Ironheart's only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, The
Bear. Then we move into July, where it's fucking chaos. We've got Jurassic Park and Superman and Fantastic Four and other things are in there that I'm forgetting because there's so many things. But yeah, that is all for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Character profile time.
Yes.
This week's character profile is on Yelena Belov. Let us begin. Yelena Belov is a Russian super spy born of the Red Room, just like Natasha Romanoff. First appeared in Inhumans Volume 2, Number 5 in January 1999. Having been obsessed with being the best Black Widow ever, Yelena tried her hardest to surpass the now traitorous Natasha Romanoff's legacy. This led to her eventually being asked to investigate the murder of her boss, Colonel Starkovsky. This investigation led to her discovering a prostitute who had become obsessed with becoming a Black Widow and having to kill her to assert herself as the true Black Widow. This entire plot was later revealed to all be a plan set in motion by General Tizhenko to see if she was ready to act as the Black Widow. When Yelena was tasked with shadowing Natasha in Zurich and trying to steal a deadly virus from her, things went sideways. This resulted in Romanoff having to save Yelena from the developer of the virus. Romanoff then took this opportunity to inform Yelena that being a spy was very different to being a superhero, and she needs to understand the difference if she wants to continue down this path. In an attempt to nail home this point, Natasha developed an incredibly complex, convoluted, and straight up crazy plan. She began with the idea of kidnapping Yelena and swapping their faces. This, alongside everyone acting as if everything was normal, forced Yelena to have an identity crisis. Unsure of who she actually was, this became even more complicated when Yelena, as Natasha, was tasked with assassinating Natasha as Yelena. During this time, Natasha, as Yelena, was sowing seeds within her life so that they could try and show Yelena she was being used as a puppet by her Red Room masters. This plan somehow ended up being successful and convinced Yelena to leave the Red Room and follow her own path. Yelena would continue to use her skills, however. First as a SHIELD agent, as a member of a rogue battalion, and then as an AIM operative. She even rose high enough within AIM to become their Minister of State for their newly formed country of Barbuda. Eventually, she handed her mercenary role in to become the White Widow. As this superhero side developed within her, she found herself becoming a member of Bucky Barnes' version of the Thunderbolts, where she developed her love of being a team member. This might be the most 1990s character ever conceived. So, her first major story with this investigating the murder of Colonel Starkovsky centers around the Colonel being sexually obsessed with Yelena and paying a prostitute to dress up and act as Yelena.
Right.
That prostitute then essentially has an identity crisis and believes herself to be the Black Widow, and then Yelena has to kill herself, and it's revealed this has all been set up to make her come to terms with being the Black Widow and just being a super spy. Then she has another identity crisis with Natasha and face-swapping shithousery.
Yeah.
And then, like, in the last few years, it's been like, oh, we've made her the new Black Widow in the MCU, and she's a hero, comic synergy, quick, get her on a team. It's absolute chaos. But there's something there.
Yeah, well, proven with the MCU films. There's some.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Yelena now, so.
It's so funny to see how, like, don't get me wrong, I know we have our issues with certain MCU adaptations of characters and things that get left behind. But for every, like, really bad one, it's like, oh, why have you done that? I feel like there's a good one on the flip side where they've gone, that is a character that has been made better.
Yep. I agree.
Oh. We get to some nerdy news.
Yes, quite a chunky bit of nerdy news because it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks of nerdy news to catch up on. Everyone, strap in. We have much to discuss. Okay. The Last of Us Season 3 will be focused on Abby more so than Ellie. It's believed now that there's going to be 4 seasons of the show, although that's not been confirmed. That's apparently like the insider rumour that it's going to be 4 seasons. So I imagine Season 3 will get us to a point from Abby's point of view, and then Season 4 will be bringing it all together.
I wonder
if that is true.
Season 3 will get us to the point that where Season 2 ended, and maybe just past it to give us a resolution, and then it'll end, and then we'll get Season 4 to finish off.
Quite possible.
Wait and see.
Dwayne Johnson is set to star in another A24 film where he'll be playing, I assume, the motivational guru who manipulates his followers.
So he's playing himself?
I took this more as like an Andrew Tate type thing.
So he's playing himself.
What I will say is Dwayne Johnson, no matter how many A24 films you do, where you don't just make yourself come across as a god,
Yeah.
will not save your reputation in my eyes. You are not a good actor. You left the WWE to become an actor, and for a long time, everyone was like, "Oh my god, he did it!" And don't get me wrong, you've made money. Fair play, you've made money. You are the third best actor that's come out of WWE, and there's only 3 of you. It's you, John Cena, and then somewhere up here off camera is Dave Bautista, because that man actually respects the art of acting and has done everything in his power to respect it, learn it, and do his best. Now, I know he doesn't want to get into a shit-slinging match about the other people who become actors. He's very good at staying away from that. But, David, if this ever gets to you, trust me, the people who care know that you fucking respect the art of film and you're doing your best. It's going to take 10 years straight of Dwayne Johnson doing these kinds of films and showing he actually cares about the art of acting for me to even consider for a second he might be starting to understand.
He'll just fizzle.
This is fucking exciting though. Alan Ritchson is set to star in a new action-adventure film called Fortune. This film is being described by The Hollywood Reporter as Memento meets Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Interesting.
We were saying a couple of weeks ago, with Mission Impossible ending,
Yeah,
we need something. It is no secret I'm a fan of Mr. Alan Ritchson. I'm also a massive fan of Indiana Jones.
You are.
There is... I'm liking a lot of words in this sentence, sorry. I'm liking a lot of it. I'm curious about the Memento bit. I don't believe I've seen Memento, but if I'm correct, that's the Christopher Nolan film about a guy who can't remember anything. Like, his memory gets wiped every 24 hours or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So, I'm a bit curious about that aspect of it. But I like too many words in this sentence not to be excited.
I mean, yeah, fair.
It's one of them ones where there's like too much to be excited about to bother being worried. You've just got to be ready for whatever might happen.
My only thing is, if he gets attached to a new action-adventure film IP, it reduces the chances of James Bond.
It does, but you know, as much as I love him, I don't want him as James Bond because I firmly believe only slim British people should be James Bond. I don't want to see a steroid dude. Right. Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War have both been delayed 6 months to December 26 and December 27, respectively. Interestingly, these delays also now see Dune Messiah and Doomsday set to release on the same day, December 18th, 2026. Horry, book that day off from work, come down, see me. We will be doing Doomsday.
Dune Day.
Fuck Barbenheimer.
Or do we do Doom Messiah?
Doom Messiah. Let's do it. There is no way both of these... I'm going to say it now, December 18th, neither of these films are coming out on that day. Neither Dune Messiah or Doomsday. They will both end up moving.
Do you know what I think is more likely? Dune gets delayed.
I think they both get delayed again.
Well, maybe.
I think both Secret War and Doomsday get delayed by another 3 to 6 months. And I think Doomsday gets delayed by 6 to 9 months. Dune Messiah gets delayed by 6 to 9 months.
I don't know if Doomsday will get delayed again. Just because this is now going to be the longest break without an MCU film. And I know we've both said they kind of need this. And they understand that they kind of need this to like slow down. But it also would be, I don't know if they would let it be that long of a break. Like by pushing it back more.
Interesting one here. An Elden Ring film is in the works at A24. with Alex Garland, who is the director of 28 Days Later, Ex Machina, Civil War, set to direct and write it. Now,
Could this be the
Elden Ring,
first good gaming film?
Elden Ring is definitely a story-rich environment.
Yes.
I have one minor concern. Without playing the game, which you have to assume most film goers won't have done,
Mm-hmm.
how easy is a George R.R. Martin world to just get plopped into? Bear in mind, you've got 2.5 hours at most. Are you going to get the most of that story-rich world?
Depends what the story is.
But do you see my concern at least?
Yeah. It needs the right story.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be difficult to sell a random cinema goer on the guy with the giant pot helmet taking on some fucking celestial tree, like with a finger as a weapon. Like,
so what I want this story to be about is the fall of the gods, where like Radagon and like that like civil war within the family or whatever the fuck it is, because it is a pretty confusing world while also being a very story-rich world. Because
yeah, they could do something
George R.
like
Martin's obsession with all of the names being spelt with the same fucking letters it genuinely hurts my brain. But there is something there. I am concerned your average moviegoer who's not played Elden Ring might sit down, watch the first hour, and their brain will just check out because they don't know what's happening.
Maybe, but we can hope.
Always stay optimistic, absolutely. And if they pull it off, will be a great film. The visual fun that can be had in that world and the storytelling, like the costume team are gonna they're gonna have such free reign. They're gonna be like, yes. This is a weird one that's very close to my heart, but I'm kind of glad didn't happen. David Tennant has said at MCM Comic Con that he wanted to play Reed Richards in the new Fantastic Four film, but despite that, of all the people he could have lost out to, he's very happy he lost out to someone like Pedro Pascal.
Interesting.
10 years ago. 5 years ago. If I'd found out David Tennant was going to be Reed Richards, I'd have probably lost my mind with excitement. I don't really want David Tennant to do any big franchise stuff anymore. Other than if he wants to come back as Kilgrave in like Jessica Jones. If they want to make that happen. But David Tennant has shown to me in the last few years, especially with Rivals, if anyone's watched that on Disney Plus yet, me and Jen have recently started that. David Tennant is a phenomenal character actor, and I want him to just go around doing millions of TV shows with great stories and using his big brand name, essentially, to get interesting shows made and watched.
I know what you mean.
Unless something that comes along is just too good to turn down.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He has such good range because he's done theatre so much.
We've discussed it so many times. British actors, when they're not doing film or TV, they're back on the stage doing Shakespeare, and it's why they're the best actors in the world.
My only kind of counter to why I'd be for him being in the MCU is but you know what I mean, like the new blood of the MCU is to get that bag so he can fund his own smaller shows.
Don't get me wrong, I'm kind of glad he missed out. If we would have been sat here and the announcement would have been David Tennant was Mr. Fantastic, I would have been bouncing off the fucking walls. Lest we forget, although I don't have them anymore, there was a point in my life where I owned 27 TARDISes.
Yes.
Yeah, like I would have lost my ever-loving mind if he'd have been cast as Reed Richards. I'd have been adamant this Fantastic Four film was going to be the greatest film ever made.
Do you know what Disney should do in Secret War?
Having one like the Council of Reeds.
Because there's either that or because it's going to be a soft reboot. If there's like a multiverse like traveling point when they go through like wormholes or whatnot, just show a TARDIS go past or something.
Be really cool.
just for the sake of being like the Doctor lives in this world.
Now, obviously, based on this comment, we have no idea how close he got to anything.
Yeah,
he just say to his agent, see if they're interested in me? Did he actually do an audition? Did he get late in the process? Or did he just see that they were doing the Fantastic Four and went, oh, it'd be cool if I could be Reed Richards, and then didn't do anything with that? Like, I don't know how far this went. Did he just put his name in the ring?
I bet he definitely
hey, Disney,
did
do you want me to interview? Do you want me to audition? Or
I bet he did some initial audition, and maybe it just didn't go anywhere.
Hannah Waddingham has said that Ted Lasso season 4 will begin filming in July. You've not watched Ted Lasso at all, have you, Horizontal? You should watch it. I know you're not a football dude. You will love the show.
I've seen plenty of clips of it. I know it is good.
Yeah, football is so secondary to it. It is literally just, like it's a bad example, but we'll roll with it. How improv isn't actually about where the people are. They need a scene just because they need somewhere. It's very much like that.
Point, yeah.
This story is just, we want this to be centered around sport.
Mm-hmm.
What's a funny starting point of sport? Oh, an American coach of a different sport becoming a European Premier League football coach. That's ridiculous. That's such a good starting point. And then after that, it's just, we're going to punch you in the gut emotionally and make you cry with laughter for 3 seasons. Great.
Fair.
I'm very excited for season 4. It's been confirmed it's going to be about women's football. I know some of the Arsenal women's players are basically guaranteed to be having cameos in this show. I'm so fucking excited. It's going to be great. And if anyone says any bad words about Ted Lasso season 4 to me, you will be cut off. Lilo Stitch has already earned his animated counterpart in another loss for art. There's nothing more to be said about that. It's been out for like a week. It's made $370 million fucking dollars.
It's also a different world than when the original came out.
Yeah, but animated films still don't get the respect they deserve, let alone what it was like 20 years ago. Yeah. DC will be attending San Diego Comic-Con with a panel for Peacemaker Season 2. I don't know if this is going to be Hall H or if they've got anything planned for Hall H, but they're going to be there regardless for Peacemaker Season 2.
I reckon they're going to be at Hall H.
I really hope so. Reports are suggesting Mark Ruffalo may be returning as Bruce Banner / the Hulk for Spider-Man Brand New Day. This was met with a lot of discussion on the interwebs.
Yes, and I sent you one thing that I saw.
So there is a pretty internet famous panel of when everyone forgot that Peter Parker was Spider-Man and the Hulk remembers because he was in banner form when everyone was made to forget, which protected him from it. And it was quite a cool moment.
Yep.
A lot of people assume that's going to happen. I'm neither here nor there on it. The more interesting / concerning thing about this is, why can Spider-Man not have a film without another superhero in it? Homecoming had Iron Man.
Maybe this is some part of the deal Sony wanted.
We've also got to remember that because of different contracts, Hulk can't have a standalone film. So I wonder if this is just them like, oh, we need to get him into a film before X date, otherwise we're fucked. Some people are suggesting, because Mr. Negative is apparently going to appear in the film.
Yeah, you were saying this.
That this could be used as a way to reset the Smart Hulk thing and give us a truly savage, out-of-control Hulk, because the MCU never really got that.
Would be pretty cool for Secret
People
War.
are very upset about it. So if people are going, it'd be kind of cool for Mr. Negative to turn Bruce, who now at this point has been like well adjusted for like 6-7 years, and return into this savage version of Hulk. It'd be kind of cool to then see Peter have to deal with that, which I kind of fuck with. But yeah, not sure how I feel about it. We'll have to wait as more develops. But I'm once again back to not having a fucking clue what this Spider-Man film is going to be like.
Yeah, who knows?
EA has cancelled their Black Panther game. Did we even know they were making one?
No, I didn't.
Just to be clear for anyone who's confused, this isn't the 1944 Rise of Hydra game. That's being made by someone else, not EA.
It's well, no, it's not Ubisoft themselves actually.
But I didn't even know EA were making a game for Black Panther. But it's been cancelled. We got some additional information about it. Apparently, Shuri, Killmonger, and T'Challa are all going to be playable characters.
Okay. The
story centered around them fighting for the mantle of Black Panther.
Right.
And apparently there was going to be a new system inspired by the infamous Warner Brothers Nemesis system.
Okay.
That's all the details about this now cancelled game. I am, of course, sad because a Black Panther game would have fucked incredibly hard. But I'm not that sad because I didn't even know it was coming. Yeah. Do you know, it's like coming home and like your mum going, "Oh, sorry, I couldn't make a lasagna tonight." Or, "Sorry, I'm not making that lasagna tonight anymore." And you're like, "I didn't even know you were planning on making a lasagna, so I'm actually completely indifferent." Yeah. Because I've not been at work all day going, "Oh, homemade lasagna when I get home." Do you know what I mean?
I do.
I know it's an out there fucking description, but it's the same idea, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it would have been nice, but I hadn't had time to get excited about it. So
I wonder if this is, I don't know. It's weird. Is this EA's cancelled it? Has Marvel pulled the plug?
We have like no information. All we know is it's not happening anymore. Yeah. Wake Up Dead Man trailer is out. This is the third film in the Knives Out franchise. Right, yeah. I'm incredibly excited for this film. I love the first two films. Fuck Netflix for not giving it a cinema release. I deserve to see this film in cinema. I deserve it. Other people might do as well, but I especially deserve to see this film in cinema. My prediction for this film just out the gate. If I forget his fucking name instantly and I'm pissed off at myself. Pause.
Pausing.
Pause. Andrew Scott, who played Moriarty in the Sherlock series across Benedict Cumberbatch.
Mm-hmm.
And played the priest in Fleabag. He's in this film.
Right.
If he has a semi-important role, so he's not like one of them tier of characters who just gets forgotten about instantly, and he's like one of like the more, is it them characters?
Yeah.
My prediction is this is going to be the film that takes him from brilliant, beloved British TV character actor to fucking superstar who is going to be in every great film for the next 10 years. This man is a phenomenal actor. I've done Bindo in this. Fair. I'm ready for America to go, "Where's this guy been?" And me to go, "He's literally been there in great TV, but you guys don't watch BBC produced TV because it's only 12 episodes for 2 seasons." And you're like, "That isn't enough."
Actually, that's too much nowadays.
This is like, don't get me wrong, it's frustrating when you love a show.
The world prefers 8 episodes 1 season, and that's it.
But this is really weird, right? Because for ages we had BBC, and like their thing was like 6 episodes, 2 seasons, that's all you get. And we were good at that, man. Like if you look at some like them BBC shows that got that, some of the best TV genuinely ever made, and I'll fucking die on that hill. And then Americans were like, no, we're going to do 24 episode seasons. And we're going to do 1 million of them. Like, Grey's Anatomy is like older than me and still going. And at some point, they went, right, we're going to do 1 season of 8 episodes. But they still try and write it like a 24 episode season. So it's just shit 90% of the time.
Yeah. I know
Like, if it's going to be that shit, at least give me 100 episodes so I can sink a lot of time into it and be angry that it was still shit after 100 episodes. But like, how many British shows have got to 100 episodes? I could name 4.
Top Gear.
I didn't even think Top Gear. I was going Emmerdale, Coronation Street, EastEnders, and Hollyoaks. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, Hollyoaks not Australian? No.
No, Hollyoaks.
That was
You're thinking of
Home and Away.
Neighbours. And all the different sides of the fence there. Australians. Who's the based one? Was it me or him?
I used to hate Home and Away because it was on at the same time as Simpsons, and my sister would want to watch it, and I'd want to watch Simpsons.
But yeah, just fucking weird. Anyway, yeah, that's my prediction for Knives Out 3. Laura Linney, most notably known from The Truman Show and Love Actually, has been cast in Lanterns. Don't know who, but good actress. Still excited for Lanterns. We will wait and see.
Yeah.
Some sad reports coming out. Apparently,
I don't buy it.
There is going to be no Hall H panel from Marvel at San Diego Comic-Con this year. In all fairness, it makes sense. They have nothing coming that we don't already know about. And last year, they did the big Tony Stark is Doom face reveal that got a big pop at the moment in the room, but they all walked off stage, looked at Twitter and went, people have mixed opinions.
Everyone very quickly started, after like a day, 24 hours, went, is this actually a good idea?
Once the initial, oh my god, it's RDJ, that's fucking awesome, there was that moment where everyone went, wait, but why?
Do you know what I think they should do? They should do a Hall H panel. But their whole panel is just every like 2 to 5 minutes.
Bring another chair out.
Some guy walks out with a chair and puts it down on stage. And that's it. That's their whole panel, is just them doing that.
That's how they reveal the wrestler names.
Yeah. The funny thing is, you know that everyone would be paying attention to that panel.
The Twitter would be a meltdown as well, because there wouldn't be a live stream or anything.
No,
you just have people live tweeting it.
Yeah, well, everyone's live tweeting, oh my god, there's another chair coming.
I can't read it, I'm trying to get closer.
Yeah. My camera doesn't have a good enough zoom.
The Clayface film that is being worked on is apparently a similar story and heavily inspired by the episodes from the original animated series. This, of course, makes complete sense because it is peak fiction. It is the Clayface story. He is an actor. He is fucked up. He goes crazy. It's brilliant. I love it. I genuinely, of all of the films that aren't like, to use game terms, right? This Clayface film is not a AAA game. It's not a AAA film. Yeah? It's that game from a developer you trust that isn't going to be for everyone, but you're watching that development like a hawk because you're ready to pounce on it the second it drops. That's how I feel about this film. I've got a feeling this film, I think, is going to tell me whether the DCU is going to survive or not.
Fair. I think, it has the chance to... This is the film, like, we know with the main films, they're going to be trying to make it more comic booky and being a bit more out there with the style of films that the MCU hasn't done until very recently. This has the chance to be like, look, this is our first of really out there with what style of film we want to do, but it still all works together. This is like you said, it will tell us a lot about the future of things.
100%. We got a Gen V Season 2 teaser trailer.
We did. looks interesting. The fact that they've put them back in school, but then
So
clearly they're being trained and just them being back in school as a front for things.
yeah.
It's
So
obviously
it
thought
looks
being
like
bought.
well, it looks like Homelander essentially
Hmm.
has taken over Godolkin University and turned it essentially into like an army training camp.
Well, yes, but I think in secret because they're also now having normal students are also going to be going to school. It's now a mixed and they have human entrances to try and blend them together, but at the same time also show to them how powerful superhumans are. Supers are.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of segregation, but segregation only works if you can see what you don't have.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
The fascist imagery is rife.
mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see these characters back and kind of they've taken the opportunity just because it gets them out of that horrible prison cell they were in. And obviously the actor passed away and
Yeah,
they've
the young
clearly turned
lad.
that into like a horrible off-screen death is what they've gone with because that makes sense for the universe.
And then the
I imagine
pivoted
that's going to
into
be
the
a lot of
dad.
motivator. Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that's going to be a big motivator for everyone kind of going, right, we need to get out of here. We'll play along and then work out what we need to do.
I wonder if it's a bit like in there being questioned and a bit of torture, obviously someone goes too far. And obviously we don't get to see that. So then that's like Vor's like, shit, we're gonna kind of quietly put these kids back in school because we now don't want any spotlight looking into why these kids were in a prison below Vought Tower for a while.
I mean, it could also be simple as like Homelander genuinely believes that like the people who've had Compound V are like a superior race of people.
Yeah.
It might be a case of he's because it was the humans in control of Vought that initially took them prisoner. It might be a case
Yeah.
of Homelander's gone, they're better than all of you, let them out of prison immediately.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
True.
But they have to be careful because while they've been under, all the other supers have been drinking the Homelander Kool-Aid, and they can't just go, guys, we need to treat the people like people because they'll just turn on them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get to see more of this youngsters with crazy powers.
It's gonna set up what's been happening in the world post season 4, ready for season 5 beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
At a minimum, I hope we have an interesting story to go along with it, though.
So,
Final Destination Bloodlines has become the most successful film of the entire Final Destination franchise. Not a massive surprise to me. The quality of the film's great. It had amazing reviews.
well, it got you to finally start watching them.
Yeah.
Because you were going to go see it, so.
Yeah. I've genuinely not seen anyone who like loves these films have a bad word to say about it. And I've seen a lot of people like myself who were like, that looked interesting, so I like caught up with the other films to go see this one.
I feel like it's also come like a point now where our age range remember the first ones, kind of ignored like the weird middle ground because it just got a bit weird, and then it's like cropped back up and it's like, oh, and they're paying a bit of homage to the originals, and this is like the wrap up and the final one. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go watch the finale to my childhood horror films.
Yeah,
and it's pulled everyone in.
Absolutely. But that is it this week. Thank you as always for hanging out with us. And next week we have a gaming episode extravaganza.
We do.
As this weekend coming is Summer Games Fest and a bunch of other panels around the same time. So Josh will be joining us next week to dive in to all of that lovely gaming goodness. Hopefully one of us at least will be very happy and we'll get our copium wish of an update on particular games, which will remain nameless for now. But there's a real chance that we're both very sad that we get no update on the things we care about.
There's a very real chance that I'm going to be pulled away from a game that I'm deep into to have to record the pod, and I'm going to be very annoyed because I'm losing
Anyway,
valuable game time.
but that is it for us this week.
Yes.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week.